It's safe to say rent doesn't affect your credit, right? Wrong. New laws now let your landlord report your rent, and not just the good stuff. One mistake, one late payment, and your credit could take a serious hit. But here's the part they don't always tell you. You can opt out. And today, I'll show you how. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel where we break down the credit system, one smart move at a time. Today, we're diving into a hot topic, new rent reporting laws, and more importantly, how you can opt out if it's not in your best interest. This video is especially important if you live in California or HUD-assisted housing, but stick around even if you don't, because rent reporting is gaining traction nationwide. 1. What is rent reporting? So first, what is rent reporting? Traditionally, rent payments haven't been included in your credit report unless you went out of your way to use a third-party service. But new laws, like California's Assembly Bill 2747 and Senate Bill 1157, are changing the game. Now, landlords of larger properties are being required to offer rent reporting. On paper, it sounds great, finally getting credit for those on-time rent payments, right? But it's not always that simple. 2. Why you might want to opt out. Here's where it gets tricky, and why you might want to opt out. These programs don't just report the good, they can report the bad too. One missed or late rent payment? Boom! It could negatively impact your credit score. Also, some landlords partner with third-party reporting companies that don't always follow the same dispute standards as the major credit bureaus. That means if an error shows up on your rental history, getting it corrected could be a real headache. And if your credit is in a rebuilding phase, or you've had past issues with your landlord, rent reporting might do more harm than good. 3. Who has to offer it and your right to opt out. So here's what the law actually says. Under AB 2747, landlords of 16 or more units must offer rent reporting to tenants starting April 1st, 2025. Under SB 1157, it already applies to certain HUD-assisted properties with 15 or more units. Landlords must notify you at lease signing and at least once a year. But here's the power move. You don't have to say yes. You have the right to opt out. If you do, landlords cannot report your rent data, period. Now, depending on the law, if you opt out, you may not be able to opt back in for 6 months. So it's a commitment, but one worth making if you're unsure about your financial footing. 4. How to opt out, step by step. Here's how you can opt out of rent reporting with your landlord. Step 1. Review your lease or renewal docs. Landlords are supposed to include a notice or form that asks if you want rent reporting. Look for it during lease signing or renewal.
Step 2. Put your opt-out in writing. Even if it's a verbal conversation, back it up in writing. A simple statement like, "I am choosing to opt out of rent reporting for this lease term," with your signature and date, is enough. Step 3. Save everything. Keep a copy for your records. If issues ever arise, you'll want proof that you declined. Step 4. Ask for confirmation. Ask your landlord or property manager to acknowledge your opt-out in writing. If they won't, send your own letter, certified mail, or email with a read receipt. 5. What if you're already being reported? What if your rent is already being reported without your consent? First, pull your rental history reports. You can start at Experian Rent Bureau, but there are up to 6 major third-party companies used by landlords. I'll list them below in the description. Next, dispute any inaccurate or unauthorized data, just like you would with your credit report. And finally, if your landlord never offered the opt-in, opt-out process, you can file a complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau or your local housing authority. 6. Should you opt out? So, should you opt out? Opt out if you've had late payments or conflicts with your landlord. You're currently rebuilding your credit and want full control. You're not confident the reporting agency used is accurate or reliable. Stay in if you've got consistent on-time rent history. You're trying to build a thin credit file. You've verified the agency your landlord is using is reputable. It's your call, but now you've got the facts. So here's the bottom line. Rent reporting can help you, but it can also hurt you. And now you know the power move. You get to choose. If this video gave you clarity, do me a favor. Hit that like button, drop a comment if you've got questions, and subscribe so you don't miss more smart credit moves like this.